We have a great field of bowlers assembled for you here at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis. It's the PBA Baby Ruth Real Deal Classic. Dave Ryan with Randy Peterson, along with our entire crew. We have our 4 finalists who are ranked in the top 10, and all 4 are ready to roll.
He has 5 straight top 10 finishes, and today he makes his 3rd PBA Finals appearance of the season. From San Bruno, California, Tony Reyes.
One time!
Tony Reyes is in fuego, the hottest player on tour. His worst finish in 5 weeks is 7th, but he won't feel complete until he captures his first PBA title.
Come on! Let's do it today!
The reigning PBA Player of the Year from Hartland, Michigan, Mika Koivuniemi.
The Big Finn's philosophy is take no prisoners. Don't leave him an open door because Major Mika will slam it shut.
Go!
An 11-year PBA member appearing in his first TV Finals today. From Glendale, Arizona, Jim Pratt.
Jim Pratt doesn't use his thumb, and in match play, he averaged 244 with his plastic spare ball. Can he handle the insane pressures of TV today?
With over $1 million in career earnings and 11 career titles, including this year's Miller High Life Masters, from Baltimore, Maryland, Wiseman.
Nobody's been more consistent on tour this year than Danny Wiseman. He's already won a major, and with a win today, he'll be back in the hunt for Player of the Year honors.
I got it!
These are your finalists for the PBA Baby Ruth Real Deal Classic.
We are glad to return to this fine bowling center. The 21st time in the last 24 years, the PBA Tour has paid a visit to Woodland Bowl in Indy. We have several intriguing storylines developing from the racing capital of the world. Randy, let's check in with the matchups.
You got it, Dave. In semifinal number 1, a battle of 2 players ranked in the top 10 as Tony Reyes takes on Mika Koivuniemi. And in semifinal number 2, Jim Pratt, looking for his first career win, takes on Danny Wiseman, who looks for his 12th title.
Randy, we're set to speak with Tony Reyes first. You define red hot. 3 shows in the last 5 weeks. What has been the secret to your success?
I don't know, just, you know, whenever you get hot, you just want to try to maintain that. And sometimes maybe you just need a little lady luck. You never know.
Good luck to you, Tony.
Thank you.
Going for that first career title. Now, Major Mika Koivuniemi, you spent some time after Long Island. You went home, you watched the Geico Open from Arizona when you won to begin the second half of the tour, and also last year's Cambridge Credit Classic, where you threw the 300 game. Watching those tapes to give you positive imagery?
Yeah, that was the reason why I was watching them, get those good feelings in my head and try to get those feelings today also.
Good luck with the good feelings. Maybe a victory coming up for Mika Koivuniemi. It'll be a 6th title on the tour, Randy. The first ever head-to-head TV matchup coming up.
Lots of money. Almost $250,000 total prize fund, 40 to the winner, 20,000 to the runner-up. All important points. A win gets you a 1-year exemption for next season. Tony Reyes on fire the last 5 weeks. Still looking for his first PBA Tour victory.
Underway. 10-pin for Reyes from Indianapolis.
When talking with him last night, you kind of got the sense that he's ready. He didn't seem nervous. He felt very confident. Said he had a great look all week, and who knows, maybe today is Tony Reyes' day.
Takes care of the 10-pin. Tony telling us last night now, with a 3rd show in 5 weeks and being so hot, he's expecting a victory as opposed to being just pleased to be on the TV show. Man, the finals last week, but lost to sizzling hot Tommy Jones, who had a great look. Mika has had a great look as well. His family in attendance here today. They've made the 4-hour drive from near Ann Arbor, Michigan to watch Mika go for another title. A paralyzing 5 drops for him. Just a 7-pin.
Yeah, and we'll get to the lane pattern or lane condition a little bit later, but the thing about this oil pattern, the way Mika's playing it, is you see Mika's family. Mika really likes to play straight and hard, and this week he actually hooked it, which was very unusual for him.
Far left of your screen there, Randy. Mom Tula from Finland here as well. So great representation of the Koivuniemi family. Leading us to the Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup.
Big average advantage for Tony Reyes. In fact, Mika had the lowest average of all of our 4 finalists today. That's going to translate into a higher strike percentage. But one thing's for sure, when Mika makes television, he's afraid of no one. He tends to strike a lot, as you can see by his strike percentage ranking this year.
21 and 10 all-time on TV. Nearly a 230 average, so yes. There's a reason he's not afraid. This is 16th career TV appearance, 4th of the year. The Japan Cup, Mesa, Arizona, where he won. We talked about that in the interview. The U.S. Open a couple of weeks ago, now Indianapolis.
And you can see right there in the replay just how quickly he's getting the ball down on the lane. Remember, the further you loft it, which Mika really likes to do, the less the ball is going to hook. So he wants to get the ball rolling sooner. He's got to get it on the lane earlier.
What a streak it has been for Tony Reyes. Double wood here, though. Not easy to deal with.
This ball never hooks. It looks like he missed it just a little bit, meaning that he didn't quite have the release he wanted. Ball comes up late, leaving the 2-8.
Fairly common leave on the PBA Tour. See it a lot on TV. Always have to be careful not to chop the 2 and miss the 8. Cover quite nicely. You really can see it in Tony's demeanor, and that goes back to his incredible streak. This guy, folks, has gone from 47th on the tour at the end of the first half of our season to number 10, the PBA Tour rankings. Extraordinary jump. One reason, game management on TV. Feels much more comfortable. As we see his incredible run from Birmingham. He was 58th that week. Since has been 7th or better each of the last 5 weeks. With shots like that. And late help on number 4. Down she goes.
Gotta get the line. Gotta get the line.
He has just been on fire. Can he keep it up and get his first tour win today is the question.
Trip 4 has always been a right-hander's best friend. Tony Reyes knows he needs a hit to get him on the board with a strike, his first, coming in the 3rd frame.
The only bowler on tour to have his first tour titles be majors. Mika Koivuniemi from Finland. Shreds the rack. That is a perfect shot. Look at that pin reaction on the backside of the oil pattern as we see his road to the TV show this week. He's been outstanding. 12 and 5 match play record. Round of 8 match over Dennis Horan Jr. in 5 games. He did a strikeout in the 10th to send game 5 into a sudden death roll-off. And the first 2 strikes, a solid 7-pin on the last ball, gave Mika the game 5 win in that round of 8 victory. Once again, lefties was nightmare. 7-10. You heard the finish. Wanted little carry there. Latte. Latte Newt means carry now and finish.
Well, that didn't do either one. Only been made 3 times in the history of bowling on television. Mark Roth, John Mazda, Jess Darrow, and Mika's not going to add his name to that list.
How many 7-10s have you converted?
6. 2 of them in Las Vegas.
We're on the Viper pattern today. Does it depend on the oil pattern how you attack a 7-10?
No, it depends on the construction of the back end of the pin deck. Back in the day, we used to have phenolic pin decks and these sidewalls that really made pins fly. As you see what Tony Reyes had to endure to get here today. No problems with the exception of his Walter Ray Williams Jr. match.
12-3 match play record, 3 games in the Walter Ray Williams Jr. match decided by 3 pins or less. He was down 3-2 to Walter Ray. That's high and rallied. Now this is going to be a tough spare.
Gosh.
On a split. But this is a big moment for Tony, and he told us last night when things go badly for him, he now can rise to the occasion. Big test coming up.
Well, he didn't rise to the occasion on that shot. I mean, it was pulled and it was left, and he knows it.
Can't convert. 7-pin stands in an open frame. And as Tony, who comes to us from San Bruno, California, just south of San Francisco, very frustrated with the open. Anything to the early portion, middle part of the match, you can usually overcome the open frame, but now he's down 10.
I think it's time to make a little change.
Not the ball reaction he wants at all.
Yeah, his reaction's not what he grown accustomed to throughout the week, so now it's time to make an adjustment. You got to come in with a game plan. Tony did that. He stuck with it for 5 frames. It's not working. Time to make a change.
Takes out the 6-10 for his mark. Tony told us last night, and that goes back to game management, how important it is to make adjustments. He had a game plan that he came in with this morning. He wants to stay to that, but at the same time, a little flexibility when he needs it. Make the adjustments. Can he make the proper moves now that he doesn't have the correct ball reaction? That's the question. Back to Major Mika. Wow. Talk about a break. Not 1 but 2 on a ball that was high.
Well, he got the terrible break frame before last when he went in light and left the 7-10. This time it's almost a 4-9. Look at the 9 goes first, the 4 goes second. What a huge break. Mika's response to that, okay, we're even.
Gladly take it. You'll notice the Motel 6 logo on the head pin. That's because it's the Motel 6 6th frame. Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA, offering $600 to any bowler who throws 6 straight strikes. That's way high and didn't like it. We're not getting that with a front 6 for either bowler in this first semifinal. The bowler who does it the most times during our telecast this season will also be awarded $6,000.
And while we're on the theme of 6s, he just left the hardest
It's nice.
4-pin count. Knocked down 6, 3, 6, 9, 10. And Mika's waiting on a ball return.
Next up, Jim Pratt, TV debut, looks for his first ever PBA Tour title against Danny Wiseman, our Masters champion. Won his first major to begin our season Halloween Day. What a moment that was. Unforgettable. Miller Park, Milwaukee, 5,000 people. He was Major Danny that day. He's Major Mika right now. Wiseman has won 11 tour titles. Has the flu, though. We'll see if he can overcome that. Covers all 4 pins nicely. When we return, more of this semifinal match. We'll break down the Viper Oil pattern as well and talk about Tony Reyes and his incredible run over the last 5 weeks. That's all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. From Indianapolis, the PBA Baby Ruth Real Deal Classic on ESPN is brought to you by Baby Ruth, the official candy bar of the PBA. Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal. By Odor Eaters with unique Zorbatex technology, destroys foot odor and absorbs sweat on contact. By Dexter, the #1 bowling shoe in the world. What's your size? And by Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA and the lowest price of any national chain. Seco Fieldhouse, home of the Indiana Pacers. Indiana playing at LA tonight against the Lakers. Three PBA stars have won 2 titles each at Woodland Bowl. Pete Weber, Jason Couch, Walter Ray Williams Jr., and this guy right here, Randy Peterson, over Eric Forkel in '99, a win you remember well. Maybe today some history made for Jim Pratt going for his first title. Tony Reyes as well, who continues red-hot streak to be a huge story on the PBA Tour.
Boy, he sure has been. He's lit up the PBA Tour the last 5 weeks, made 3 out of the last 5 shows. His worst finish in 5 weeks, 7th.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, I mean, this could be his coming out party, but he said, you know, all that is great, but if I don't win today, it's kind of all for naught.
All right, 37-foot oil pattern. It's the Viper. Yielded 7 300 games this week. Will not have one in game 1, obviously, but some big numbers are possible.
Viper pattern.
It's a Viper pattern, Ray.
Let's go. This week we had some really nice scores because the players were able to do something very interesting. They were able to stay out pretty much the whole time. Some guys did play in, however. Major Mika played in, and right now he's got a lead on Tony Reyes. Watch Tony Reyes take a big step left now and get right on top of Mika Koivuniemi's line.
Yeah.
Talked about that. 7 perfect games. Right now a 10-pin lead for Mika Koivuniemi. The open for Tony in the 4th frame. He hopes not to have haunt him too much. Now this goes back to game plan. Something Tony emphasized with us in our meeting with him last night. Remember it, the first show he made this season, Atlanta. Big struggle after the commercial break. Can he rebound here and make the right moves? Not a good start along those lines. That's way high through the nose.
Leaves the exact same thing he left in the 4th frame. 3, 6, 7, 10. Get the ball over here to the right side of the 3. Throw the 3 into the 7. The ball will take out the 6-10.
Can he do it?
Just. Ball looked like it was going to hook up. It never did.
Another open, and that's a disaster, folks. This late in the match, suddenly the deficit grows to 26 pins. Mika's working on a spare, as you can see. Our road to the PBA Denny's World Championship. Denny's the official restaurant of the PBA Tour. Top 4 make the round of Super 16 at the World Championship in Michigan. Very critical because you can have up to 31 games less than the competition. That's a perfect shot. So making that top 4 is very big for someone like Danny Wiseman, who's in our show today. And a tip of the cap for...
Not done yet. Not done yet.
The big Giants fan from San Francisco. I'm sure he's in tune to what Barry Bonds was saying this week. Spring training in Arizona. That controversy rages on. Back to Mika. Can he take advantage of the Reyes Open? 10-pin.
At least lights stay on.
You know, Dave, if I had $1 for every 10-pin I left this week, I'd have a lot of money. Of course, there's a lot of players that left a lot of ring and 10s, and right now, we're looking for somebody to kind of step up and find a way to shoot 200.
Mika, among others, adjusting his tempo, how hard he throws the ball, rev rate, the whole deal because of the oil pattern. There he goes from the inside. You see cross lane in the plastic square ball to take care of the 10-pin. Home state, Mika Koivuniemi, who lives in Heartland, Michigan, near Ann Arbor. Well, a couple weeks down the road, folks. Note the date, March 20th. We're off next week. Bowlers get a chance to go home to their families. I'm sure Mika will do that 4 hours from here. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Banquet Open, 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 on the West Coast. For more, log on ESPN.com. We resume our tour. It's the last regular tour stop of the season. And 2 more majors to come. Perfect shot. 60 feet to success. Mika Koivuniemi.
Well, one of the reasons why Mika said he played in all week was his ball carried better. Tell you what, when you hit them there, they usually all go down.
Is it tough for a guy like that to slow down the ball speed? He's used to throwing so hard.
It is. He's really tall. He's 6'4". He's got a really long swing, and he likes to throw it hard. He said what he did was he moved up on the approach, lowered his starting position, and just tried to get the ball on the lane quicker.
Down 25, works on strike.
Unbelievable this lane.
No.
Gosh, man.
Not have a good look on this lane at all, Randy.
See, the problem is
Nice pair.
it's easy to sit back and say, you know, he needs to move deeper, but as soon as he moves deeper, he's afraid to throw it a pinch to the right for fear that it doesn't get back. He just lost this right lane completely and hasn't marked on it since the second frame.
That's fair.
4, 6, 7, 10 up. Yeesh. And through remain up for Tony. He seemed so confident with his last night that this, in fact, would be his day. Now, things looking bleak indeed. 8th frame open. About closes the door in this semifinal for Reyes.
Yeah, it's an ugly spot to be in when your ball reaction's terrible. You know, no matter how good you are physically, you'll never be able to overcome a bad ball reaction.
Second time in Tony's career, he's been in back-to-back shows. .123 events and counting with no title. 4th longest drought active players on the PBA Tour. Numbers are not overwhelming by any means. Look at the ranks in match play. Wow, number 10.
Well, you know, when you look at the first round of match play when Mika Koivuniemi bowled Bill Rowe, they went 7 games. Bill Rowe only bowled 1 200 game, 254 in the 6th game. Mika had 4 200 games in his wins and 3 170s in his losses. Just did enough to get here. And that's what match play is all about. All you got to do is win the game. Doesn't matter by how much, as long as you win.
It'll be a grind out type day, you can tell based on the oil pattern. Now Mika needs 5 pins to shut out Tony Reyes and end this semifinal. And Tony's long wait for the first career title apparently will continue with his family watching back home in Northern California. Trying to join Tommy Jones, Mike Wolf, Jason Hurd, all won their first career singles titles this year. Was hoping to become number 4 today here in Indy. He's exempt for next year already. He's 10th on the tour points list, but he badly wanted that victory to make sure he'll do it the right way. 10 pin for Mika. It's all he needs to advance to the final. And he'll move on to Big Finn from Heartland, Michigan, by way of Finland. He will fast track to the end as he'll bid for his 6th career title against either Jim Pratt or Danny Wiseman.
You know, the scores were good all week, and you know, early on it doesn't look like what we had last week with Tommy Jones striking just about every ball. But, you know, a lot of times it's strategy out here and figuring out what to do when the lanes are tough, and that's what Mika Koivuniemi did. He did just enough again to win.
Talk with Mika last night about versatility, and sometimes you have to have that. He is, like Tony, very strict with the game plan coming in, but he mapped it all out, and he did a great job of it as he gives some high fives to his family. His mom, his wife, 2 young daughters, one of his daughters' friend from Michigan, all here to watch Mika win the semis. He's off to the final. We'll have the PBA Miller High Skills Challenge, among other things, coming up from Indianapolis. Yet another sold-out house here on the PBA Tour. Very proud to that. First semifinal. Over Randy Peterson with you. Mika Koivuniemi knocked out Tony Reyes, 194-154. That means Mika in the final against either Danny Wiseman or Jim Pratt. The semifinals continue in the Miller High PBA Skills Challenge, who will advance to face Parker Bowman III in the finals for $20,000 and the title of Skills Champion. Today's semifinal matchup features U.S. Open champ Chris Barnes squaring off against Brian Kretzer.
Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, he was the 1999 Amateur Bowler of the Year. He comes to you from Dayton, Ohio. Give it up for Brian Kretzer. His opponent was an All-American at Wichita State University, a member of Team USA. former PBA Rookie of the Year from Flower Mound, Texas, Chris Barnes. That would be Chris Barnes.
Pick one out of there. And show it up to everybody. Number 3.
Convert to 110, left-handed.
That didn't take long.
Great, get to embarrass me right out of the get-go.
We're going to do it this lane. All right, what we're going to try and do here is with Richie Wolf's Columbia bowling ball. Use my opposite hand, which is my left hand, and make the 110 with the ball hitting both pins.
Chris has described exactly what he'll try here with the left. A 7-8 Randy rating.
Oh, that's got a chance.
It sure does, Chris. Nails it.
Chris Barnes showing off his ambidextrous skills. Check out slow motion showing you that big hook.
Try to hit the head pin and have the ball carry on into the 10 pin, throwing the ball left-handed, which is not my normal hand, as I'm drying my right hand.
So Brian Kretzer has got to match Chris Barnes. Great shot left-handed. Doesn't quite have the style. No. Hooks too much.
That's so unfair.
The big Kretzer hook, but obviously not real skillful with the left hand.
Throw a shot with your opposite hand through a chair and get 9 pins or better.
How do you feel about that?
If your tires are flat when you get outside, it wasn't me.
So again, left-handed trick shot, Chris Barnes through the chair.
Through. Come on. Yeah.
Nicely done. Just a 7-up, 9 pins down, Chris Barnes.
And all I could say is good luck, Brian.
Yard sale.
Oops. Not gonna make it.
Didn't have it over far enough.
2 strikes to none, Chris Barnes up. He needs 3 to win the match.
The idea is to hit the left side of that pin that's at approximately 45 feet, for it to skip over that gutter, hit the 10 pin on lane 13, and the ball to hit the 7 pin, which is on lane 12.
We have seen this shot in the Barnes match against Tony Reyes. The Flying Eagle. Randy, can he convert it again?
Are you kidding me? This is about as close as you can come to making it without making it.
I don't know what it hit, but that was a pretty good effort.
It went right around the tag.
That it did, Chris. Incredible. It missed that 10 pin. 2 strikes to none. Barnes still up.
Oh, my goodness. I have to be honest here, I'm not rooting for you to make this.
I really haven't felt that vibe yet, actually.
On the road, the PBA Tour. Couple of weeks. Remember, it's March 20th for our ESPN show. 2 weeks from now, Spectrum Lanes in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Log on to PBA.com for Pro-Am signups. You can buy tickets there at 3 different sites in Western Michigan. And the PBA Denny's World Championship. Last 2 days at EMU, Eastern Michigan's campus in Ypsilanti. Taylor Lanes will host their action. Taylor Lanes also hosted the Pro-Am March 26th and March 27th. Log on today, PBA.com to sign up. We've got much more from Indianapolis. Can Danny Wiseman get his second tour win of the season? Number 11 he's got already. Looking for the lucky dozen in his career today. 40-pin victory, Mika Koivuniemi, first semifinal over Tony Reyes, bidding for his first ever title. Same goes for Jim Pratt, trying to get career championship number 1. First, he's got to get through Danny Wiseman in this semifinal. Both are joined by Randy Peterson.
Thanks. Thank you, Dave. Jimmy, your first time ever on television. How does it feel?
I'm nervous as all hell right now, but I'm feeling good. I'm throwing it great, and if I throw it well, I'll win. That's it.
Good luck, Tim. Thanks. Danny Wiseman won the first tournament of the year, a major. You're leading the tour in top 10s. what do you think you have to do to add your name to Player of the Year list?
I think it's already added. I mean, they just forgot to add me on the website the other week. I don't know why. But, yeah, I think a win today would definitely help the cause.
Okay, great. Good luck, Danny. Thank you. Dave?
Danny Wiseman fired up. That's exactly what he wants, the 40,000 and a victory here today. Wiseman, Pratt. With Jim Pratt, folks, there are many big storylines coming up. Look at the ball in his hand. It's a plastic spare ball. He also does not put his thumb in the thumb hole. Two major themes with Pratt. You can see the thumb outside. That's always been his style. And a good start for Jim Pratt with the plastic ball, which, as we know, can really wreak havoc with the other bowlers in terms of pushing the oil down lane. As Danny Wiseman comes up for his first ball.
Plastic balls drag oil down the lane, push oil down the lane, where the reactive balls actually absorb it. And what happens when that occurs is it makes the backhand part of the lane really tight.
Great start, Danny Wiseman, right in the pocket. We wonder, as we look at the Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup, if the first game scores were affected by Pratt's plastic ball in practice.
It's a good chance that happened, but when you look at this, the big thing that jumps out of you is the average. Remember, Jimmy Pratt averaged 244 in match play. That's going to equal a lot higher strike percentage. If it comes down to spare conversion, advantage Danny Wiseman, but I really don't think it will. Both guys looked like they had a pretty good look to the pocket. The other big advantage, experience on Danny Wiseman's part.
See Jim Pratt in the background there. Won't even look up to see what happened with Wiseman on the 10-pin. Wiseman raspy, you can hear that in his voice. He's really been battling a tough flu all week, and as of last night was not even close to 100%, right?
Yeah, and if his voice is the only thing that's bad today, that would be a good thing. And right now, he doesn't like the left lane. The last match, Tony Reyes hated the right lane.
37-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland, Danny Wiseman. He loves his outrageous clothes, listening to hard rock, live rock and roll bands, and working on his classic car. As a Ford Mystic Mustang. Speaking of cars, we'll talk more about that. Also, Julie Pratt is here from Phoenix, Arizona, Glendale, the suburb. And her daughter as well, stepdaughter, Danielle. Not what he wanted.
Well, he gets this ball in a little bit. It's amazing. You know, last time we saw anybody win with a plastic ball on tour, much less use it, was in 1993 when Walter Ray Williams Jr. won the Paula Carter's Homestead Classic in South Florida. You just don't see it. There's his resin ball shooting a 4-7 with that. But in practice, he was going back and forth between his reactive ball and his plastic. Again, you choose a game plan, you stick with it. He's decided to stay with the plastic.
It's a 15-pounder. He's got to play from out here and wants to keep it straight. He told us last night the reactive ball can really be erratic for him. Not much hook, as you can see, but a perfect pass to the pocket for Jim Pratt from just outside Phoenix, Arizona. Another one of the Tour Trial success stories, who was 8th and last of the top 8 to make it from Chicagoland last June. Sue and Bob back home in Phoenix, his parents watching, and a quick shout out to them as we saw from Jim. Back to Danny Wiseman. Paralyzer. 0-5.
Well, the bad news, Danny only has 1 strike through 3 frames. The good news, he's hit the pocket 3 times in a row. Like, come on, 5? How about a little love? Denied.
Saw Danny showing off that thumb there a second ago. You can see how much his hand is taped up. He's got a lot of injury issues. Right hand tendon caused him 2.5 months off. That's an old injury that's been acting up lately, he told us. Takes care of the spare. Also, arthritis in a right big toe that was, over the last 2 years, operated on. As we see his trip to the TV show, 12-5 match play record, 7-gamer. against Jason Couch. Couch needed a double to win game 1. He did. Needed a double +1 in game 3. He did with 3 straight strikes. But Danny prevailed in game 7. Couch managed to spare in 3 of the last 4 frames. Wiseman routed the lefty in game 7, 230 to 180. That's light.
I got to throw a different ball, honestly.
2-pin.
Got to throw a different ball.
Well, that ball looked like it revved up about 4 times going down the lane. Look at this thing.
Bad.
Going down the lane, it just has absolutely nothing on it to get it to turn over.
Jim Pratt's plastic ball. Is it hurting Wiseman?
Well, it certainly has, or it appears to have on that lane, specifically for Danny Wiseman, that you can see just how weak the ball is down lane. You don't see that big back-end reaction on that left lane for Danny Wiseman.
Using the plastic ball a lot today. When he first got going with bowling in Phoenix, 15 years old, was a late bloomer. There it is. Never used the thumb. Never even practiced with it when he was young. Yes. Not a lot of ball speed, but boy, does he take off perfectly at the end of the lane pattern. 37 feet down lane on the Viper pattern. You see his road to TV. Defeated Patrick Allen that round of 32 match, 5 games. KO, their leading candidate for Player of the Year. Strikes on his first 6 shots. Against Michael Haugen Jr. bolted out to a 3-0 lead. 10 straight strikes in game 3. Won all 3 of his matches en route to the show in 5 games.
Come on, baby! Yes!
You know, this guy told us last night, Dave, that he's not just here to make the show. He feels he needs to win to keep his exemption for next year.
Look at the average numbers. As far as Pratt goes, Randy, to finish up on that point, he's 55th in the PBA Tour rankings right now. Cut line's at 39 to be exempt for next year. 1 more regular tour stop. He won't be in the Dexter Tournament of Champions. He's never won a title. Never been on TV until today. Very small chance, and he knows it. As Wiseman gets a break. As far as Jim Pratt getting exempt, he won enough points for this week. Coming up next on ESPN, the 2005 IndyCar Series season gets underway. Sam Horace Jr. goes for a 4th Miami win against the field that includes defending points champion Tony Kanaan. Elio Castroneves and 2004 Indy 500 champion Buddy Rice. Panther Racing's Tomas Schechter is the pole sitter. The action begins at 2 Eastern on ESPN. Same time, ESPN2 debuts side by side. As we continue watching the race during commercial breaks. For more, log on to ESPN.com. 10-pin for Dan.
Closer.
Nobody touches Tomas Schechter and Panther Racing. Just pencil it in. And right now, Danny Wiseman trying to race his way to victory, but in order to do so, he's going to have to figure out a way to throw 2 strikes in a row.
He's made a move on that left lane. He has to make some adjustments. Jim Pratt. Look at him, his first ever TV show. Strikes in 4 of the first 5 frames and a 10-pin lead over the Masters champion, Danny Wiseman. The semifinal resumes next. From Indianapolis, Indiana, the PBA Baby Ruth Real Deal Classic on ESPN is brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly, this is the High Life. By Geico, you too could save 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Uniroyal Tires, the official tire of the PBA Tour. Uniroyal Tires, trusted by American families since 1892. Second semifinal from Indianapolis, Indiana. Jim Pratt, a 10-pin lead. He has 3 straight strikes, frames 3 through 5. Head-to-head with Danny Wiseman, who is the subject of this week's Dexter Approach Ranking.
Danny Wiseman has a great game, and he's a shot maker, and I'm going to show you why. Watch how steady his head and shoulders are as he delivers the ball right there. The reason why he's so steady is this is his 3rd step. And I want you to watch his big toe never leaves the floor as it goes into the slide, setting up a perfect balanced position, and that's what creates all that accuracy for Danny Wiseman.
Relax as usual. Always a showman, Danny Wiseman. Back to Jim Pratt, one of 8, as we mentioned, who made it from the PBA Tour Trials. We see the numbers so far. 39.2% for the others. Jim Pratt has struck in 4 of the first 5 frames. Stays high. Really interesting from that angle. Great look from our crew to watch the ball reaction at the backside of our 37-foot Viper pattern. It just jets right back into the pocket.
You see, when he's throwing that plastic ball, that ball was a little bit high flush. If it was a resin ball with as many revolutions as Jim Pratt has, it would have gone right by the 9-pin. Because that's plastic, there's just enough deflection for all 10 to go down.
The late bloomer started at 15 years old, fell in love with the game right away, he told us. And he says if he has to go back to Tour Trials, he'll do just that.
Look
Controls
out.
on the distance, way high off the hand. You can see it, but he catches a break and just the 3-pin up for Jim Pratt.
You know, for a guy that is a high rev,
shot making.
that wasn't one, but for a guy that's a high rev player who hooks it, especially with no thumb, it's always a right to left type of trajectory. So going straight up the lane for this is not something that's easy for him to do.
Jim Doty, well, Penn Leisure Center's GM. So glad to be back at this fabulous bowling center. What an area here in suburban Indy. Fabulous restaurants, hotels, all within an easy drive. Interesting moment here, Randy, as well for Jim Pratt, who told us last night when things don't go well, like leaving that spare. He gets frustrated himself, and sometimes the anger helps him focus. We'll see if it pays off.
Anger management.
Right. Sounds like a title for a movie. Back to Wiseman. Blitzes the left.
Well, you mentioned he made a move on the left lane. He looks like he's pretty much zeroed in on the right lane. Let's see whether or not he can carry so they can string 2 in a row. Get right back into this match. He's only trailing by 19 with a strike here. He'll cut the lead to 9.
Dan has got plenty of friends here in Indianapolis, no doubt about that. Recently sending some of his digital video back to his coach, Billy Hall, on the internet. Hoping to make the right adjustments and had a very good week. 9-pin up here.
Mood right, stuck.
Billy Hall is not only the coach of Danny Wiseman, but also the coach of Norm Duke. You see our other finishers. Shannon Buchanan, one of the other tour school grads who has not made a telecast this year, got real close. Kudos to him. Great week for Shannon.
Shannon finished 8th in the PBA Tour Trials last June. So far, of the 8 who made it, 8 total shows, 1 title combined.
You know it's going to move right and stick.
For those who attended and did well at the Tour Trials, Mike Wolf, Patrick Gerard have made 2 shows each. Wolf the only winner in Medford. Can Jim Pratt add his name to the list? He barely was able to squeak in. 9 pins better than Bill Rowe of Canada for the 8th and final spot at Tour Trials. And he said it was the most dramatic bit of bowling he's ever done in his life. The hand, oh, and a disastrous thing.
God damn it.
Wow. All he has to do right now is stay clean because he's in the 2 teens. Danny Wiseman would need to strike out to get to the 2 teens. And disaster strikes. So right now, get 2, take your medicine, throw a strike in the 9th, and get it set up for the 10th frame.
Leaves the 6-pin. Not the only bowler who has done well without the thumb.
3-time titleist Mike Miller was the best I'd ever seen at throwing it with no thumb. Right there in Reno in '99, he shoots 300.
Jim doesn't use it. As we told you. And Jim told us last night that he watched Mike Miller on TV. His first memories of watching PBA events on national television, always rooted for Mike because, like Jim, didn't use the thumb.
One thing's guaranteed: when you don't use your thumb in bowling, you're going to have a really high rev rate.
Up on the 10-pin, as we saw the stat there a moment ago, trying to become the first TV rookie this season to get a win. Not easy to handle the pressure. And boy, the extra pressure on Jim because he wants to be exempt for next year. He's got to win today.
Well, the situation is pretty clear. Danny Wiseman needs to strike out to shoot 218. If he does, he will force Jim Pratt to double in the 10th to move on.
Carry it out.
And there's one.
Big foundation frame strike for Danny Wiseman. 5-pin spread between the two right now. This is going to be close.
Stick again.
Issues with his footwork?
Well, he's stuck in the 8th frame on that left lane. He said he moved right and he's stuck. So he just went up and checked the approach. No mistakes. This is the biggest shot of the week for Danny Wiseman.
No strikes on the left yet for him. This is huge. Big time moment for Danny Wiseman.
Boy, it looked like he missed the building on that shot. Watch how far right this shot is, and it gets back all the way to the pocket. Check this out. Look at that.
Restart
I
the
wonder
shot
if it
clock.
surprised him.
Well, speaking of being surprised, he actually went down to the bench and thought Pratt was up. He's still bowling here, and he asked for the shot clock to be restarted, 25 seconds. This is interesting to see if he'll focus. He lost his place for a moment there. Ten-pin, footwork.
Well, it's not what he wanted, but he still forces Jim Pratt to strike on the first ball in the 10th frame to move on. It looks like he sticks again on this shot. Let's watch. Yep, he sure did.
Great look by our crew there to show both the ball down lane and his footwork. A strike and 8 is what Pratt needs now, Randy, to shut out Wiseman and advance off to the final to face Mika Koivuniemi. What a story this would be for Jim Pratt.
If you thought he was nervous before he started this match, I guarantee you he's 1,000 times more nervous now.
There it is, baby. Get it. Yeah.
Wow. He called it.
Called it out of his hand.
Jim told us last night he would not be afraid at moments like this. Now he needs 8 pins to advance on to the final.
There it is, baby. Get it. Yeah.
Danny's packing up. Needs 8.
No doubts. Oh, gets it. Winner,
Gets
winner.
it. Can you believe that break? I mean, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, quite honestly, you want to miss left, not right, because if you miss too far right, you get 0. He did the right thing, kept it tight to the head pin. He's moving on to meet Mika.
Takes care of the mark nicely.
Thank you.
Go get him.
One at a time. Yeah, one at a time. Thank you.
Jim Pratt has won his first ever TV match, the first rookie TV.
Have to win. Have to win.
Is halfway there. Mika, Pratt in the final coming up. Using the plastic ball as a strike ball. Without the thumb, Jim Pratt has defeated Danny Wiseman in the second semifinal. He and Mika Koivuniemi will face off for the championship here in Indy. Coming up on ESPN, the 2005 IndyCar Series season gets underway. Sam Hornish Jr. goes for a 4th Miami win against the field that include defending points champion Tony Kanaan, Helio Castroneves, and 2004 Indy 500 champion Buddy Rice. There is the starting grid, led by Panther Racing's Tomas Schechter as the pole sitter. It's all coming up on ESPN. And the action starts at 2 Eastern, the same time ESPN2 debuts side by side, allows you to continue watching the race during commercial breaks. That will be exciting. And 20,000 reasons to show off the best skills of the PBA. This week's Miller High Life PBA Skills Challenge has Chris Barnes leading Brian Kretzer 2-0. Let's get back to the action. Our competition, Chris Barnes up on Brian Kretzer, 2 strikes to none. Kretzer goes for the 1-7-8 here, Randy. Must hit all 3 pins. He needs to get a strike or 2 here.
Yeah, well, you need to throw a lot of hook on this shot, and that's something that is right in Brian's wheelhouse.
All right, what I'm going to be trying to do here is get the ball on the left side of the head pin, and then hopefully it'll deflect over and split the 7-8 with the ball.
Challenging shot. Needs all 3, but the 8 stands for Brian Kretzer.
Looked like it was just a little soft with his speed. The ball goes right by the 8.
That was really good. I don't know. Throw me another one, Colin.
Make this the 2-ball one so you can do all the super hard ones right out of the get-go.
I remember right.
That'd
be it.
That is unbelievable.
Doing here's a 7-10. I'm going to put 2 balls in the same hand. One is going to take, let's see, the front ball, which is the one on my thumb, is going to hit the 7 pin. And with any luck, the one in my fingers, which would be the one behind, is going to hit the 10. All right. It's not fair. Brian doesn't carry as much weight on this one.
Challenging shot. Randy rating of 9.0 for Barnes. Can he do it? The 7-10, 2 balls.
Yeah.
You better believe it. Great shot, Chris Barnes. Wow.
Chris described it. I'm not going to begin to tell you which ball is going to hit which pin. The green ball will hopefully hit one, and the yellow ball will hopefully hit the other.
Kretzer must convert or it's all over. Good luck, Brian.
Oh, that's close.
Look out, he's
really close.
Wow. Oh, that was close.
Wow.
But not close enough.
That was a good effort on my part.
Still undefeated and your champion, Chris Barnes.
Join us in 2 weeks for the finals. Chris Barnes takes on Parker Bone III for $20,000 and the title of Miller High Life Skills Challenge Champion. PBA Skills Challenge brackets. There it is. Barnes, Bone III. Should be a great matchup. Remember, it comes up in our next PBA telecast 2 weeks, Sunday, March 20th, 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 the West Coast here on ESPN. Our finals coming up from Indy. Koivuniemi, Pratt, first ever TV matchup. Who takes home the title? Don't go away. We find out next. Koivuniemi, Jim Pratt head-to-head in the final as Jim looks for his first ever PBA Tour title and exempt status for next year. Ready leads off to the Red Championship recap.
Earlier in semifinal number 1, it was Mika Koivuniemi defeating Tony Reyes by the score of 194-154. Mika doing just enough to win. Then in semifinal number 2, it was Jim Pratt defeating Danny Wiseman by the score of 211-207. Pratt bowling for his career, Dave.
55th coming in today, PBA Tour rankings.
Thanks, Randy.
I guess he heard you. Because he acknowledges the little note on his career. We're not far from the bowlers here. They shouldn't hear everything we're saying, but that was pretty crystal clear for Jim Pratt. Good start for Jim. Using a plastic ball still.
I'm just trying to get him motivated. Well, okay, if you need to get motivated in this environment, there's something wrong. But this environment is something that this man knows a lot about, and this is Jim Pratt's first time in this situation.
5-time titleist, 6-year on tour. People in Helsinki, Finland are getting the update via the Finnish news agency. Mika gets calls, regular basis every week. Nice start, good pin action for him. To update his progress online and the papers that are sold in Finland. Maybe a real matchup for this one, Randy.
Almost 10 pins a game higher with that plastic ball for Jimmy Pratt. Of course, that's going to equal higher strike percentage, but check this out. Scores get tough, get low. Advantage, Mika.
Pretty good first semifinal, but a grind-out type win for Mika over Tony Reyes. Start this final. Has it.
often do you see somebody going straighter than Mika on television? Watch how beautiful the 6-pin just goes to the sidewall and tomahawks the 10. In any language, that's good carry.
Jim Pratt, folks, has got to have this win today. To have a serious chance to be exempt for next year. Otherwise, it's back to tour trials. 10-pin for him. Pratt, the leader, amongst our 4 finalists in terms of average match play with a 244.40 coming into the show today.
Mika got the 6 to go to the wall and caved the 10 out. Jim Pratt did not. Even with all those revolutions, plastic balls don't hit anything like the regular reactive resin balls that we use and particle balls that we use. I don't care how many revolutions you have.
Takes care of the 10-pin. Special welcome to Rodney Brown, Baby Ruth brand manager. Once again, a major sponsor on our PBA Tour events and broadcasts of the finals. Think about the numbers. We see the score. 55th in the rankings. 43rd on the money list coming into this TV show. Patrick Allen, our leader. 62nd in average at 212. Chris Barnes, the leader in that category on the PBA Tour. He's won $40,000, folks. He can win $40,000 more with a win today and become exempt. There's so much on the line for Jim Pratt.
It really is. He's really made some great shots today. Keep in mind his margin for error is not that great with that plastic ball, but you know what? It was the best look that he had all week, and he made it work for him.
'21st last week on Long Island was Mika after a 3rd-place finish at the U.S. Open in Jersey 2 weeks ago. Told us one night he didn't sleep after he lost that sudden death roll-off to Patrick Allen in his 2nd match. Then after that, he had forgotten the loss, how dramatic it was. And we said, hey, how about PBA and the lefty's worst nightmares? Well, we'll talk more about that after we tell you. Pete Weber bobblehead doll. You can find out how to get it. Simply click on the Pete Weber bobblehead doll banner on the PBA homepage. Print out a coupon for a limited edition bobblehead with a paid tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt. In addition, you'll receive a $10 discount courtesy of Jackson Hewitt at PBA.com. So is he lefty's worst nightmare? Still. He said, well, Patrick Allen didn't beat me that day. I lost. So his confidence is back.
Well, that's debatable. But as long as he thinks he's lefty's worst nightmare, I guess that's all that matters. Right now, he's trying to become Jim Pratt's worst nightmare, and doing that will give Jim Pratt nightmares.
That ball was light. What a break he got indeed. All 10 down for Mika. And look at that, the front 4. Remember, he threw a 300 game on TV last year in Connecticut, the 16th and last to do it. Can he do it again? He's got the first 4. The final continues next. Major Mika Koivuniemi is focused. Head-to-head with Jim Pratt in the final. The PBA Baby Ruth Real Deal Classic. Time now for the inaugural tire rock and roll rating.
Well, in keeping with the theme, watch Mika roll the 2-pin forward right here for a rockin' 4-bagger.
Front 4 for Mika, heading into his 5th frame after we see Jim Pratt. Works on a strike, down 30 pins, chance to reduce that deficit to 20. 4th frame. A connection with Doug Kent we'll tell you about. Ooh. Nice help on the 7. Recently, Jim Pratt bowled at Doug Kent Center in Canandaigua, upstate New York. Made the show right after that. It's happened before, hasn't it?
Let's see, Parker Bone III did it earlier in the year. Peter Hernandez did it last year. I think
Patrick
Allen
Allen
do it. I've got a ticket tomorrow morning.
Upstate New York.
You
land at Syracuse, drive about an hour and a half or so. It's not too far.
I'm going to go over and practice at Dougie's place.
Jim Pratt wasn't aware of it, though. We talked to him before the match about that. Oh, he'll take it. Didn't like it off his hand. It's high. Oh, avoid the split. Just the 4. Last dance for Jim. It could have been much worse.
Well, you don't win out here on tour without catching some breaks, and maybe this is the one that Jim Pratt needs to get him to his first title, but
Now the thumb is.
he's going to have to do a lot more striking since Mika started with the front four. And he didn't like it immediately off his hand.
Got to hurry. Throw on the backside of the oil pattern. Does he seem nervous to you? Jim's big message to us last night. Hey, I've never been on TV with fans to the side of me either. Side of that angle, it might be challenged.
I mean, this environment is unlike anything you've ever competed in unless you've made a lot of telecasts in your career. I mean, you can't just expect to come out and be acclimated right away. It takes time, and normally it takes a lot of TV shows before somebody gets their first win.
Bids for the front five. He's got it. It is the Motel 6 frame. Mika's thrown the front five with a strike in the sixth. He learned $600 from Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. He'll also be eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws the front six more than any other bowler on TV this season. Some added incentive. Wow. Costs him the 600.
What a great shot, too. You know, I think the thing that makes Mika Koivuniemi so great is all mental. I mean, he's got the physical tools. It does nothing that really jumps out at you and says, wow, look at this guy throw it. But mentally, I don't know if there's anybody stronger on the PBA Tour than Mika Koivuniemi.
He's moved way in here. Part of the adjustment. Now 30-pin lead. And Mika, who spends a lot of time exercising the day of a show on the treadmill. That's when he goes over his game plan. A lot of mental focus. Did that again today here in Indianapolis. With a plastic ball, works on a spare. Jim Pratt.
Come on, baby!
Paralyzer.
Boy, really trusted that one, too. Made a good shot.
Powerball.
There's that plastic kid again. Watch this. Gets this one just a little bit right. Starts to make his move. He's like, come on. We've seen guys do that all week long with reactive balls.
Knocks down number 5 for Mark. Gonna need some strikes, though, Randy. There's the cut line, folks. Very interesting. Cut line is at 39th place because Pete Weber, who's on the outside looking in right now, has the exemption thanks to the U.S. Open title last year. So he's clinched 51st by getting to the final. Can go a bit higher if he wins it, but that's still on the outside looking in. So this is why he's got to win today.
If he wins it, he gets a one-year exemption for next year. Forget about where he finishes on the point list.
Otherwise, it's tour trial time. There's a lot of pressure. Big strike.
Great shot.
Yeah, it was a great shot, and in my opinion, he needs to strike out from here on out to have a chance at winning this tournament.
Great shot.
See the numbers. 5 of 6 strikes. You see Mika's family. There's a story behind their presence. 10-pin up. They made the 4-hour drive from near Ann Arbor to be here today. Did not go to Mesa where he won. They had a nice little streak of attending tournaments Mika was bowling in. He didn't win, so he didn't ask him to come to Phoenix. He won that event. However, they didn't come to Jersey either, hoping to keep the string going. He didn't win there, so they're back. The Seaman person here today, and he's up 30 pins, looking for a 6th career title. forget, folks, 2 weeks. Mark it down in your calendar. After a week off, the PBA Tour players have a chance to go home. Mika will do that, certainly, and get some rest. We're back at it March 20th, 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 on the West Coast. The banquet open from Grand Rapids, Michigan. More log on ESPN.com. And, of course, plenty of info available on PBA.com. Max numbers. Really a different look for Mika. He has that lane figured out, at least for them.
You know, we talked to him last night, and we asked him, well, do you think you're bowling as well as you bowled last year when you were Player of the Year? He says, you know, I really feel that I am. He says the big difference for me this year is my carry. It's just not as good. I'm not getting the breaks I was getting. He says I had to make a lot more adjustments this year, trying to slow down my ball speed, less loft, playing different angles than he had to last year. And that's been the big difference.
A lot of versatility. Knows how to do that since Pratt has used the plastic spare ball and disrupted the oil pattern unlike anything we've seen before. A double there, 7th and 8th. Look at the bubble here. Doug Kent, we mentioned Doug and his center up in upstate New York. He's on the bubble right now.
Jim Pratt wins. He eliminates Doug Kent from the Dexter Tournament of Champions. If he does not win, Brian Goebel is guaranteed a spot in that tournament. Right now, in my opinion, if Jim Pratt doesn't strike on this ball, he can't win.
Goes for the turkey.
Come on, baby, get it! Yes!
Big one.
All right, now here's the deal. Jimmy Pratt can get in the 10th frame and double and be in the 240s. Mika Koivuniemi right now is in the 230s.
Come on, baby, get it! Yes!
Foundation frame time. Chance for a 20-pin lead. All down.
All right, well, now we have a possibility of a tie unless Mika Koivuniemi strikes on his first ball in the 10th frame. If he does, he will win this tournament. If he does not, it'll be up to what Jim Pratt does in the 10th frame. If Mika goes 9 spare strike, we have a possibility of a tie.
Remember, Mika was in a roll-off 2 weeks ago. U.S. Open. Lost. 2-ball sudden death roll-off to Patrick Allen in match 2. Love another crack at that. Saw what he needs and what he's done. One-pin action. Needs 6 now.
Yeah, Major Mika's a major force on this PBA Tour. But I don't think 6 pins will be a problem for him. Watch the head pin, go to the side, and look for some business.
Saw his wife, Lena. Little daughter, Lydia, just 4 years old. 6, and that's it. He'll take 10. He'll take
Great bowling.
another PBA Tour title. The 6th of his career, Major Mika, back on the board.
And who knows, with 2 majors left, you may want to start thinking about adding Mika's name to that Player of the Year list.
We asked him that very question, Randy, last night. Last year's Player of the Year led the tour in average. Tied with Chris Barnes, 7 TV shows made, 2 titles. He's now 1-2. 4 shows. What a run it's been for Jim Pratt. There's no doubt about it. We've got to bring the family to every event. At least for the rest of this season, they'll certainly be at the World Championships in Taylor, Michigan, and for the last 2 days at Eastern Michigan University. And there's little
Hello, Fire Rocks. How you doing?
got to tip the cap to Jim Pratt. Had a great run and a great week for him, but Major Mika too much. Another stellar performance. He figures out a way to get there.
267-226 is the final. Mika is very happy. As are Lena and Lydia today here from Indy. By Bear, the more you know, the more you trust Bear. By Baby Ruth, the official candy bar of the PBA. Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal. And by Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA and the lowest price of any national chain. With Ida and Lydia, Mika Koivuniemi, 6th career title. I take it your family's going to have to be with you for the rest of your tour events this year, am I right?
Yeah, this is the first time. They are so superstitious. They haven't usually like to come over, so I'd like to prove them wrong.
Against Jim Pratt, Mika, was it difficult because he was using the plastic spare ball in terms of the oil, pushing it down lane?
It didn't affect my line, so, but I know he's gonna bowl a good game. He's been bowling good whole week, and he need to win to stay in the tour, so he had a lot of more pressure than me, I guess.
Speaking of the tour and a possibility of another Player of the Year honor, that's your second win, 4 shows. Are you back on that list?
If I do really well in the last couple of majors, I have a pop.
All right, congratulations and enjoy it. A big victory today, and your daughters are here too. What do you guys say about being here? Is it a good time for you?
Yeah.
Not much, at least yeah. Okay, well, enjoy it, guys, and congratulations again. Mika Koivuniemi, a big victory today here in Indianapolis, Indiana, as he takes home his 6th career PBA Tour title. Congratulations goes out to him. Don't forget, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Live coverage of the Banquet Open beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time, only on ESPN. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For the entire crew, my partner Randy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Indy IndyCar Series. The Toyota Indy 300 is coming up next here on ESPN. Mika's Day from Indy.